All right, I'm here at Fort Loudon Dam again to ask the question, does my fishing spot still exist in the hurricane hit area up in Newport? Now, last time I did this, I was starting at Fort Loudon Dam, so I figured I'd do it again today, and as you can tell, it's spilling. We've had a lot of rain, so most of our dams on the Tennessee River are spilling water. Now, I do know it's been months since the hurricane, but this is still, water that's coming from upriver. It's coming from Douglas Lake, and they are still cleaning that lake up. So who knows how long this mess is going to last. I mean, they're still cleaning it up, and it's months later. That's pretty crazy to think about. In fact, I am going to try to make it to one of the ramps up there that I've launched before that's in the area where a bunch of the debris landed. And I tell you what, I got a story for you that I was told about that area just after the 1,000-year flood that happened because of the hurricane. Now, without further delay, let's go to the next spot. Here's the ramp I showed last time, and it is still broken months later. Now, when the flooding was happening, the water was pretty much all the way up here to where I am recording, and it broke the boat ramp. Now, they did have it closed off for a long time, and then they just roped it to the bridge, and here we are. They left it there. They haven't fixed it yet. I'm sure eventually they will, but we're still dealing with the aftermath of the hurricane. Now, last time I went to another ramp that was downtown Knoxville, there was nothing wrong with that ramp though. There was nothing broken. There was just a bunch of debris. I'm going to skip that ramp to hit up Douglas Dam. And then after Douglas Dam, I will try to make it to the really remote ramp that I launched a jet boat at years ago. In that video, I actually caught a channel catfish. I will actually do an iCard above to that video where, I was in kind of skinny water. I tried to go up the skinny part and couldn't make it too far, but I did catch channel catfish fishing like a brush pile. Hopefully I'll be able to show you guys some of the cleanup efforts out there if I can see them and record them. Stay tuned. As you can see here, Douglas Dam isn't spilling, and the lake is way down. It's at or even below winter level. You can see all the rocks behind the dam. If any of you saw the hurricane aftermath video, Douglas was spilling hard. It was way high, and a lot of water was going through it. Douglas is one of the dams that they don't spill too often, but obviously whenever you have like a 1,000-year flood, which I keep saying that over and over again, they gotta spill. Now, they did put like a mile-wide boom on the lake to prevent a lot of the wood and debris from actually coming up and hitting the dam. So most of the trash and everything that they're still removing is on the upper end of the lake, which is where I'm going to try to go to now. Well, as you can see here, the ramp is blocked off. In fact, there isn't even a ramp over there. The ramp is pretty much gone now. It's completely wiped out from all the water that came downriver here. And I'm quite sure, where I'm standing was probably underwater as well. It just shows you the absolute massive amount of water that came down from North Carolina here into Tennessee. I'm just downriver from where the Pigeon River runs into the French Broad River, and both of them were overloaded with water. Now, the thing I was going to talk about that's in this area, or at least at the end of this area where the water's coming down river and then everything takes a left. Well, in that big, open area of upper Douglas Lake, you could not drive a boat there whenever this first happened. And this is from what a buddy told me. This same buddy also told me that FEMA took his church's last donation. And he said, because he lives up here, he said there was so much debris you couldn't take a boat out. There was basically homes, there was businesses, there was buildings, there was RVs, cars, wood, junk, just loaded up. Like the whole cove was just all of this garbage that came from upriver. And it's actually something that I didn't see any news media like cover or anything. They didn't like show this upper part with you know, all of that, you know, human structure in it. They were all showing around the area where they put the boom, where the wood was. They were showing, oh, look at all this wood, all this wood, all this wood. Up here, it wasn't wood. It was structures, it was cars. It was, you know, at least from what he said, it was really, really bad. And you just can imagine what was in all of that human structure went into the lake. So oil, transmission fluid, household chemicals, all of this stuff went into Douglas Lake and is still being cleaned up and is still being pushed downstream. It is just a massive, massive disaster. And this does kind of make me sad that I can't really launch here anymore, although this area you really need to have a jet boat to launch here. If I want to get to this area, I have to hope the other boat ramp that's upriver from here still exists. Now that ramp may be the ramp that's doing all the cleanup at. I thought for sure they would, you know, have something set up here, but the way it looks, at least like all the trees across the way or whatever, this place just got washed out. You know, just massive amount of water pushed everything into the bigger area of Douglas. Now I'm going to show you something that might actually blow your mind. I'm in downtown Newport, Tennessee, and as you can see, they're still doing some cleanup here. Now the thing that's going to blow your mind, where I'm standing right now, I would be probably halfway underwater. When the floods came down through here, it flooded downtown Newport. And the river, the Pigeon River, is in a valley. So 100 feet maybe 200 feet. It went up a lot to make it all the way up here and flood most of these businesses that are around here. In fact, there's a train track that's just down the road. I don't know if I'll be able to film it because there's really no easy parking around it, but that train track looks like it's like 300 feet up from the river. The river is way, way down in the gully, and this train track is above this road. And there was debris stuck in that train track from the water. That's a crazy amount of water coming down through this area. Now, thankfully, I've heard from the locals, from social media, and from news that they are finally like helping clean up the rivers. They're helping build the roads. The government has finally started to do stuff. Now, I really don't like getting political, but Trump is the one that says, or is claiming, that he's got all this stuff started. And, you know, obviously the right believes him. The left says that he's lying, that Biden started it. It's just late. I don't want to give my opinion to it at all. I just want to remain neutral, and I just want to fish. And that's what I'm going to attempt to do, is find out if my fishing spot still exists. If you've seen some of the pictures from upriver from here, I mean, the rivers have been stripped bare. It's just bare rock. There's nothing there. And you got to realize, not only do you have the industry and homes and all that stuff from up there, in that sediment would have been stuff from mining, like mining gold. There was a lot of, you know, gold mining that happened up there, and they used mercury, they used arsenic, and all of that went into the sediment, and now that sediment got washed downstream through here, through Newport, down the French Broad River into Douglas Lake. I know I've said it multiple times, it's a bad situation. Now let's continue heading to my fishing spot. Here's the railroad bridge I was talking about. And as you can see, I guess it did more than just put debris on the bridge. It actually broke it. So they are replacing the railroad bridge now. You have to realize that the very, very top of that bridge, the old one you see there was debris stuck in the bridge. It went that high. I will say I was not expecting this at all. Very, very interesting. This makes me wonder if the car bridge I'm standing on now is compromised. This car bridge. And I had to cross pretty heavy traffic to get here. A lot of traffic here. Now I got to get across the road back to my truck and continue on to my fishing spot. Now, as you can see here on this video clip, I recorded the last part of this video in slow motion. It was an accident. This is kind of a newer camera to me, and I hit the wrong buttons. Now, if you look behind me, you can see the gate is closed. I was unable to make it to my fishing spot. Now, the Forest Service is actually working on it. They went in and out a couple of times while I was setting up to record the last part of this video. So hopefully, maybe like in a few months, it will be open to the public again, and then I can maybe retry this video and go back in there and hopefully fish my spot or a potential new spot, because my spot may not exist anymore. A positive outlook is just there may be new spots, there may be some deeper water there in certain spots. Who knows what I will find back in there once I'm able to get back there. Now, this has been a pretty big tragic event, and thankfully things are heading in a positive direction now with things being fixed. You know, my area here is being fixed. So hopefully, you know, this can be put in the past at some point and we can move forward. Now, I really don't remember what else I said during this clip. However, you know, it is what it is. I ended up trying to fish at the pond that is on top of the mountain and didn't catch anything at that pond either. If anything, I gotta show you guys a few new things that I didn't show you before in the previous video. Now, as always, I want to thank you for taking your time out of your day to watch me talk here in slow motion. I really, really appreciate it. And hopefully, in the future, I won't mess up yet another video. Thanks again for watching. I hope to see you again next time.